Hello, fellow YouTubers and car buyers alike. You're looking at a 99 Dodge Caravan that I have for sale. It has the 3.3 liter automatic front wheel drive. What can I tell you about this thing? It's a van. It's pretty reliable. It gets up and goes. Runs, drives, hasn't let me down yet. But as you can tell, it's priced low for a reason. And I'll be happy to get in detail with you that starting right about now. Let's see. Get this one handed. First off, the engine bay, obviously 3.3 liter. The radiator, I believe, is cracked to start with. It's got a crack up toward the top. Basically, I check this thing about every couple of days and see how it's doing on the coolant level. It has not overheated on me yet, as long as I keep cooling in it. The other, if you can't tell, it is or has been leaking oil. Pretty sure it's just coming out of the top of the valve covers, which for somebody who's really good with cars, that's a fairly simple repair. The oil leak is fairly slow, though. I mean, it's not losing it at an alarming rate. It's just been going on for a while. The other issue is I do believe the belt tensioner is pretty much bad. Although I've read on this vintage of 3.3 motors, the tensioner and the bracket have, I guess, a design problem. Chrysler put out a TSB on them, recommended a replacement. The belt does tend to slip, especially if you drive it through a puddle of water or in slushy conditions. It doesn't slip too often for me. I've only had it slip a total of 3 times now in the last 4 months. And again, if you're mechanically inclined, it's fairly simple to get back on. It's just because of the clearance in there. It's kind of a pain in the tush. Other than that, engine is strong. All the accessories, as far as I know, are still running in pretty good shape. Power steering works. AC works. It's still below ice cold. So, hooray for those of you who like AC in the summer. And I do have a yellow top Optima battery. It's probably going on about 1.5 years old now, but great batteries. And let's see, what else can I show you about this thing? Let's see, driver's side of the van's pretty good, straight, not too much wrong with it. There's a nice sized dent back here in the tailgate. I guess the previous owner said somebody had an SUV and their spare tire swung out and put a dent in the tailgate. The passenger door has been replaced at one point. I can tell because of the obvious differences, and there's a bit of a gap up here. And a couple of dents up here in the passenger quarter panel. Let's see. You got basically one good tire. The other tires, so-so. Back tire on the driver's side is getting down to minimum tread, I'd say. Back passenger side is pretty much bald. Front is a little over minimum tread, I'd say 30-40% if you're lucky. Let's see, what else can I tell you about this thing that is in the ad. It will need an alignment. And when you're driving, on occasion, if you go over a pothole, bump, whatever, you'll hear a pop out of this side. I'm pretty sure it has to do with suspension. I just don't know what. I'm really not skilled at determining suspension issues just yet. Let's see, interior's pretty good. Like most Chryslers and minivans from this era, every so often your instrument panel goes dead while you're driving, like gauges go to zero, all the gauges go to zero. The display goes out. Usually all I have to do is a light tap up here, and it comes back. From what I've been told, it's a pretty easy replacement, but it is common in these minivans. I'll go ahead and start it up for y'all. There's the light test for you. Starts up like that pretty much every time. Cold, warm, never gives me too much of an issue. As you can see, no warning lights. The only warning light I have right now is door ajar, for the fact my door is open. It just broke 190,000 miles the other day. Like I said, all the gauges work, temperature works. The other main issue is the fuel gauge. The fuel gauge, the fuel pump, I guess, wasn't the correct model, the previous owner told me. So what happens with the fuel pump is it stays at full until you come down below a half tank, and when you get to half, you're actually empty. So just wanted to let you know, this thing does not go all the way to E. What else can I tell you about this thing? Currently, the headlights work, the brights work, but unfortunately the turn signals in the four-ways do not work. I believe this would be because of a relay. I pulled it out already, but there is also a slight chance it might be due to the turn signal switch, but from what I've been told, more than likely it's the relay. Right now the brake light is on just because of the parking brake, and the parking brake does work actually. All the brakes are in fairly good condition. See, power mirrors, power windows, power locks. Trying to think if there's anything else I haven't told y'all about it. Went over the radiator, the oil leak, turn signals, suspension alignment, tires. I think that's all of the issues that I'm aware of anyway. All of your interior lights work. Here's the back. These aren't the stow and go seats, but you can pull them out if need be. Aftermarket radio, good radio. And like I said, your AC does work. AC and heater both work, I'm sorry. Brakes work pretty good. Transmission shifts great. Haven't had any transmission related issues at all. And the engine responds great as well. Just like I said, all of the issues lie outside of the engine and transmission. So, alright. Get my little for sale sign out of the way here so you can see the dash. I am asking $1,000 for the van, somewhat negotiable. It's not in here at the moment, I don't think. But for the right price, I'd be happy to include my OBD2 scanner. I've got an OBD2 scanner from Actron. It's about $80 at AutoZone. Like I said, for me to include it, you'd probably have to offer me $1,000. I am also accepting trades at this time. Looking mostly for pickup trucks. I would prefer at least extended or crew cab. However, I'll look at certain single cabs. I'm looking for trucks in particular, Chevy, either really good 70s, like 73 through 70 or 80, or 95 up through about 2000. Ford, I like Ford I'm kind of weird with. Ford, I only really like 92 through 2000. Those two generations. Dodges are my favorites. If you got a Dodge, you pretty much move to the front of the line. I'm willing to look at Dodges, 88 through 93, as long as they're extended cab, or 95 and newer. Again, would prefer extended cab. Would really appreciate 4x4. Transmission doesn't matter. I prefer manuals, but again, the transmission doesn't matter. I'll also consider some SUVs. The only SUVs I'd really be interested in would be like K5 Blazer or something similar to it, i.e. the Ford Bronco, Dodge Ram Charger. It depends. I might even look at Suburbans. It really depends on the particular vehicle. If you have another vehicle you'd like to offer me as a trade, feel free to get a hold of me. But again, if it's not a truck, I may or may not want it. Like I said, $1,000 or best offer. I am negotiable, but just with all due respect, people, I've had a couple of people say, "Hey, I'll give you $400 or $500." I mean, again, this is with all due respect. Where are you going to get a car that can at least run the drive for $400 or $500, or at least something this new and this big for $400 or $500? I just don't see it, especially when you don't have any check engine lights. Yes, this thing has problems. Yes, it isn't as a sale, but if you're mechanically inclined and you've got a little bit of cash flow, it shouldn't be that hard to fix this thing up. I mean, it's a really good van. I got it a little over 6 months ago. It had 182,000 miles at the time, and it's been a great runner for me and my wife. And honestly, I'm not much of a van guy. We got the van we needed it as a necessity, but I'm at a point to where I can kind of go back to what I want, which I'm thankful for. So I'm just kind of wanting to see what's out there. I'm located in Fredericktown, Ohio. The van still does have Colorado tags, title, etc. Just a heads up. I'm kind of wanting to see what I can get before it's time for me to switch to Ohio tags and driver's licenses and all that good stuff. Any other questions? Feel free to call or text me. Would prefer text. 740-358-9810. Thank you for taking a look at my video and considering my van, and we will catch you all later. Thanks. Bye.